Yeah, honestly, I'm digging the headphones. Got some,
Thanks.
yeah, those are pure gaming headphones, right? You use them to
Yeah,
kill some noobs online.
yeah,
Bring back the
man.
high school days. I love it. Sounds clear, clarity.
How's it going, man? How's
I'm
your
good,
day?
man. I'm good. I'm good. I just I like that you're wearing a Star Wars shirt. I wanted to talk to you about a bunch of things, but I was actually having a marathon, doing a Star Wars marathon. Ended off on the episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
hmm
So you must be a huge fan seeing that shirt that you're rocking right now.
Uh, I'm not. I won't call myself a huge fan compared to
Yeah, but
everyone
you respect
else.
the films.
Yeah, I like the movies. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the originals, the first three that came out.
Got you,
Not a
got
big
you.
fan of the prequels. Not a big fan of the new ones that came out, but
Oh, the prequel's
good
not a fan,
franchise.
eh? Not a
Not a
fan.
fan. Not
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fan, man. It
can't
was
get
too
into it.
slow.
Too slow. I know what you mean. Yeah, the first two for me, were very slow, even upon rewatching them. But episode 3, with the Hayden Christensen one, it does something different. I guess because I watched it when I was 10, right? Kind of touches a certain soft spot. It brings me back nostalgic
Man,
feels,
yeah,
you know.
sounds like you like Jaja. Sounds like you like a Jaja
Jar
guy.
Jar, oh yeah, Jar Jar Binks guy. Yo, why not, man? No, honestly, I can see why people when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, people, yeah, they're getting annoyed. I can see why the kids like it, but yeah, it just wasn't for me. I was hoping on I was banking on the Jar Jar Binks theory where he was a Sith. Do you
He was
remember
a
that?
Sith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
came
yeah. I
across
remember
that.
that.
So
Yo, people are bored,
yeah,
man. Like to go to that point,
yeah.
thinking the
Honestly,
guys
they
are.
dissect it. If they're making money, man, if they're making money off of YouTube, right? People are
Yeah.
pitching in, but I know what you mean, man. They definitely have time to do that because sometimes I watch and aside from just Star Wars, just anything, like even conspiracy theories, like the amount of research they pull. It's
Man.
entertaining for the viewer, right? Fascinating for us, but you process
Oh
it and you're
man.
just like, what's going on?
I
Do
love
do
how
I
they're like
understand you?
connected. Yeah, man. I love how they connect the dots for the conspiracy theories. It's like
Yeah, it's
it's like a it's like a crisp like a cryptic message. That's what a message meant, man.
but that's but my whole attitude towards it, man, is like, yo, use that imagination for Hollywood. Like, start writing a story or a script. You know what I mean? Because whether this is real or not, these guys know how to connect everything, or at least make it believable, right?
Oh man, yeah. Yeah.
But so how you been,
Yeah.
man? You seem like you were busy when I was chatting with you earlier today.
Yeah, man.
What's going
Jeez,
on? What were you
yeah.
finishing up?
Man, so I was like, so I'm in my journey right now, like
Okay,
trying to
okay,
like
right.
be
Locked in.
healthier. Yeah, man. So because early on we said it's gonna be done at 8 o'clock. So it was like dope, 8 o'clock. We got lots of time.
Hmm.
Then you said free, and I was like, okay, I can maybe do free. Then we pushed it to 4. It was like, okay, 4, all right. Because around that time, I need to work out because I need to go for my runs.
No, no, for sure. Yeah, it's important
So
fitness.
so that's why I push it back a little bit later because I was like,
Right, right,
oh,
right.
like I'm not gonna be able to do the amount of calories I want to burn today. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
but
all
yeah,
about
man. So
routine. Yeah.
so yeah, that's it, man. So that's what I was doing, man. I was trying to stay disciplined. I didn't want to give myself an out because like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, yeah. You know what? You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, there might have been like, because with regards to like 3 o'clock, I wanted to do like kind of the afternoon. But yeah, I just like ran into some things, and
mhm.
I said, might as well do it for 4.
Yeah, that's life,
Um,
man.
8 o'clock. Yeah, eight
Yeah.
o'clock. 8 o'clock's usually like during the week kind of thing. But
hmm
yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm glad that you like working out and like sticking
Yeah,
to a
man.
strict regimen. It's very hard. I was actually talking to my family, like especially with this pandemic. I joke around. You're either gaining 20 pounds or you're losing 20 pounds. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
invested in a treadmill because
Oh, yeah, I have a treadmill
yeah,
too.
yeah. NordicTrack. Are you a NordicTrack guy?
No,
What do
I
you got?
have something called a Health Runner. I bought
House
Canadian
runner?
Tire
Oh, okay, okay.
for a good deal.
Yeah, same here, man. I spent under 1,000, so I'm pretty happy with my
Oh, same
purchase.
here,
Yeah, like
man.
I don't want to drop anything more than that.
Are you kidding me
But
for a treadmill?
nah, nah. I should tell you a story about the Good Life. My Good Life membership. Those guys were holding on back in August. They were like reminding me because I wanted to cancel, right, with this
hmm
pandemic. I just wasn't really trusting. I
hmm
still don't trust. It's one of the worst places you can be, especially if there's a virus,
hmm
circulating. And I was canceling it, and these guys would just, instead of stopping immediately, because I told them I don't want to be part of it. They kept sending me emails like, "Are you sure prices are gonna go way up when everything resumes back to normal?" Like, they didn't say it like that, but it's pretty much they're giving me that hint.
That's a
Yeah,
sell.
exactly, right? Like, I canceled my Amazon Prime membership, and,
Okay.
I gotta give them credit to that. That's just all part of their system, but, there was, like, 3 prompts before I could cancel it.
No.
And every page was just like, "You sure you're gonna lose all your benefits? You saved 18 bucks on Prime delivery," and it's like, "Yeah, you guys were beneficial for the holiday season, but I have no urgency in
Mhm.
getting a package," right? But yeah, it is what it is. You're always gonna deal with these services and things like that. So that's great, man. I'm glad you're focusing, doing your path. To tell the audience,
Yeah,
you want
man.
to tell yourself like where you're at right now, like
So right
any
now
obstacles.
I lost 15.
Okay.
So I have lots more to go to. Because like as you know, like I'm like a big buff guy, but I
Right.
realize there's no need for me to be big or buff anymore. Like
Well, you just got to be
that's
lean, bro. That's what
yeah,
I am.
exactly.
I lost
I'm
20 pounds off of just straight cardio, man. Lean muscle
exactly
mass and just be lean. Like, yeah, you don't need to be the Rock. That was high school
no
days. People were competing.
no, but exactly, but no, I actually like being a rock. I like that size because it
Yeah.
feels good,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
lifting weights. I love lifting weights, but
No, no, that's always good. Yeah.
for longevity standpoint, I'm trying to picture myself when I'm 50 or 60. Like, it's not
Hmm.
going to benefit me to have all these muscles. I
Right.
better be able to stretch my back, making sure I can pick up stuff. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
when I'm that age, and having that runner body physique is really very, very beneficial for me. So,
Yeah, man, it always comes like with fitness, it can be very overwhelming for a lot of people and, put people in a position of insecurity. But I always say, just have a balanced diet, watch what you eat. My Fitness Pal, it's a great app. I recommend
mhm.
anyone that wants to get to a certain goal. Just keep track of your calories and make sure you work out every morning, but don't, overdo it and just be happy. Like, you don't have to be a certain size or
Mhm.
kind of like muscle mass. Like, as long as you are somewhat fit, I think that should be enough, right? Like,
Mhm.
you want to build muscle, great. Like, build muscle. Who's stopping you? But to kill yourself, you have to also factor in, man, like patience. It requires a lot of time. People don't
Yeah,
realize like
yeah.
it. They I read something somewhere where it's like consider how much time it took you to gain the weight. Yeah, it's going to
Mhm.
take you just as much time to lose it
Twice
because
as long.
it's twice as long, right? But it's over time. Like, people don't realize
Mhm.
that, right? Because they think to themselves, "Oh, I gained this weight like a week ago because I had a bad burger." It's like, no, that's bad
Yeah.
dieting since like like the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say too, like your fitness
Hmm.
tells a lot about who you are as a person as well,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
Because
great reflection. Yeah.
yeah, man. So tells us whether you're disciplined or not as a person. So encourage everyone, man. If you're trying to lose weight,
Hmm.
it is a hard journey, but you need to ask yourself that first question: why am I gaining weight?
It's great that you
Hard for
mentioned.
me.
Yeah,
Go
it's great
ahead.
that you. No, I'm just saying it's great that you mentioned that because that's part of the reason why I myself I was slipping last year in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
With this pandemic and just being
Mm-hmm.
cooped up. And again, the gym is,
Yeah, it's
the weights,
close.
even a lot of the no, but even a lot of the equipment I don't even
Mm-hmm.
own, or you can't even buy. It's like a huge investment that I miss. But I tried to discipline myself where it's like, okay, it's going to take more time than if I were going to the gym. But like you said, it's a huge reflection, and that's why I kind of associate it with is how do I feel as a person. You always start when you do something, you always do it for yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
it always goes back to like when you wake up in the morning or when you're throughout the day. I just was tired of feeling groggy and just like eating whatever I
Yeah.
wanted and just not having that discipline. And you look
Yeah.
forward to food too.
Mm-hmm.
A big thing, I don't know if you're practicing this, is intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, you stop eat, right?
I have. Yeah, man. That
Stop
shit's
eating at
hard.
8. Yeah, stop eating at 8. Yeah, but it's
I
hard,
stopped
but it's
eating
not.
at 5. Shit's
At
hard,
5, that's
man.
crazy. Well, for me, I stopped eating at 8. My window's 12 to 8. Stop
Mm-hmm.
eating at 8, and then I don't eat until the next day,
Mm-hmm.
11, 12, around that time.
Okay, so
It's a
wait,
16-hour.
so 16 hour. Oh yeah, so 16/8. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing the 16/8. I was really crazy when I first started back in September. That I would do once a week, like 24-hour
Mm-hmm.
fasting, which I don't even know how I did it because as soon as I would reach 4 in the afternoon, that's when I would really like get the hunger pains
Yeah.
and was gonna punch a hole through the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I wouldn't advise it when you're trying to edit or do some work.
No,
But
no, no.
yeah, man. Other than that, with regards to fitness, I'm glad you're doing that. I'm glad you're on that regimen. How's everything else going with your your work or your craft?
Right
How are you
now,
finding
man.
everything, man? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I'm in like somewhat of a writer's block.
Oh yeah, no worries. These things happen. Tell us about
Yo,
writer. Tell us
do
about
they?
writers. We should talk about that, but I want to hear your perspective. Like, what do you how do you describe writer's block? How do you describe the feeling?
Writer's block is like you're trying to find the perfect way to say something.
Right,
So that's the way. That's my writer's block right now. It's
articulating
not
your words.
like
Mhm.
I didn't like put myself in a box to story. I'm just
Mm,
trying to phrase it in a better way. And I find myself often rewriting sentences a lot and not pushing the story forward.
mm.
So like what happened to me today is like I spent at least an hour rewriting a paragraph, trying to get it
Wow.
perfect to
Okay.
really like say what I'm trying to say within a few words or less. Within a few words or less. I love writers that can say things within like up 2 sentences and you know
Yeah.
what they mean.
Exactly.
So it's just hard, man. I often forget how hard it is to actually write a thought and articulate in a way in which your readers actually know what you're trying to say.
Hmm.
Um, that's what writer's block to me is, man. Just rewriting stuff over and over again, over and over again. So
Yeah, I would
what's
agree.
for you? What is writer's
Yeah,
block
no,
for
I would
you?
agree. I would agree, Christian. Writer's block for me as well is, that frustration, not articulating your words or getting a
Hmm.
point across. My biggest thing, writer's block. I also connected. Um, I find it relates a lot to writing yourself in a corner.
Yeah.
And I think we had this conversation about when you write yourself in a corner, it's the worst.
Hmm.
It's a challenge, and a lot of people find it creative way to kind of get yourself out of it. But sometimes it can be really frustrating. And for anyone that doesn't know, writing yourself in a corner is essentially you don't know how to maybe get your character out of a
Hmm.
situation, or you don't know how to progress and develop a scene without jumping the shark, as they say,
Hmm.
without completely discrediting what you're writing.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's very difficult, and I give you some advice with writing, the little knowledge that I have.
Hmm.
Hope you've been putting into practice. And what I was telling Christian is the beauty about writing is, from my experience, the more you just hammer at it, and the more you're just unafraid to say, okay, I'm just going to write that page today, no matter what, and then you just walk away.
Hmm.
Eventually, you'll notice, and I'm sure you have these days where you'll look at the page and say, wow, that was damn good.
Hmm.
Now, I also had those moments where I felt like the page was really good, and then I wake
Hmm.
up the next morning and say, "Wait, hey, what did I write? Like,
Hmm.
why did I write this?"
Hmm.
I'm shaking my head.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really proud of you because you're actually going at it. You keep writing, and
Hmm.
you keep like picking up the pen or going at the laptop. A lot of people fear that blank page and
Hmm.
hesitate. But again, the best way to become the master is constantly perfecting, going at your craft.
Yeah.
You know,
Also, you gotta start as well. You just gotta start.
you just got to start. You got to show up. My
Yeah.
famous thing. My
Clock in.
yeah. I love that. You just got to show up. It's the hardest part. And they always used to say that in business. I never understood it, and now as you get older, you realize it more and more.
Hmm.
Um, some people, you just got to show up,
Hmm.
and once you're there, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be much easier than if you didn't show up.
Hmm.
Because you always would have, you never know would have known what could have happened, or you might have regretted, or you might have. At least you can tell yourself. Like my biggest thing I've done, whether it was projects or a job, I showed up, and yeah, I didn't have maybe the greatest time or maybe the greatest experience, but at least I went home saying, I tried. I know what it was like, and I think that's very important. A lot of people can take from that is just got to show up.
You just gotta show
Just
up.
got to
Yeah.
show up, buddy. Right. So yeah, it's an interesting time, man. We're kind of trying to perfect our craft. We're given the opportunity, especially with the pandemic, to really set ourselves down and be alone with our thoughts. And I'm doing a lot of reading. I mentioned this
Hmm.
too, and I'm actually reading. I sent you a picture of the Netflix book. It's
Yeah.
with Reed Hastings, and I just read the first line. I still have to actually read it, but I just read
Hmm.
the first line to get a kick out of it, what it was all about, and it just told me all I needed to know, and that is Blockbuster was 1,000 times our size, and we all know the story of Blockbuster, and we all
Yeah.
know what was going to happen next,
Hmm.
and I guess it's just so reassuring, and you know, um, gives like a warm feeling to know that these people, they were in a situation where they were intimidated by this, giant industry
Hmm.
giant, and they were told at the time they weren't going to, go
Yeah.
far, and no one was going to watch Netflix, and they still, believed in this dream, and they still tried their best to, pitch it to the people that they would hope respect it.
Hmm.
And again, when he says that line in the book, that if that Blockbuster was 1,000 times their size, and then he goes on to say, looking up to I don't know what floor they were on, but it was high up in the building, and
Hmm.
just like anticipating that meeting, that interaction, and being rejected, right? Because we all know how the story went. Um, Look at where they are now. It's not for everyone. Not every story is that successful,
Hmm.
but the principle behind it, in that they just kind of went for it and they stayed true to the craft. They stayed
Yeah.
true to the routine, kind of like what we're doing, the fitness routine and the
Mhm.
writing. And that's what, for anyone that is trying to go towards a routine or a pathway. And, speaking of Netflix, that's something also I've been doing aside from reading, is I have a little bit of downtime. So I've been watching some Netflix. I don't know about you, I'm a big fan of Netflix because it's not just their movies and their television series, but I love their documentaries. I feel
So
like
what are
they
you
have.
watching now?
So right now I'm actually watching. I watched last week. It's called Alien Worlds, and
Okay.
it was this. Have you heard of it? Have you watched it?
No, I never
No.
never seen it.
So
No.
they did this thing. It was really cool, and this is what I mean by like the uniqueness of the shows. Um, they treated it like a National Geographic,
Hmm.
but with CGI visual effects, where creatures in other planets, and how their ecosystems would kind of operate and form, like by
Hmm.
through hypothetical theories. So, for example, they would get like a planet called Titus,
Hmm.
right, in the solar system, and they would say if it had this much water, this much gas, how would the creatures, how would life exist, right? But the way they narrate, right, to get this English accent woman,
Hmm.
it gives it such more credibility about, National Geographic. You have to watch it. It's really hard to
Man,
explain and
your
pinpoint.
Netflix is running out of content. Can I just say that?
Yeah, yo, but listen, but
They're
again,
running
maybe
out of
because
content, man.
you don't like
Let's
it.
make it
Christian's
a
just like shooting
documentary.
my heart right now.
It's a
Yo, but
documentary.
it's a document. But
It's a
I'm a sucker.
mockumentary.
It's not a, yeah, exactly. It's not a documentary. I
Documentary.
probably get shot. I probably get attacked for what I'm saying. It's not a documentary, probably, exactly.
Man, I would love to know how that pitch meeting went. So we're
Honestly,
gonna create.
but the thing is, Christian, if you watch it, they take themselves really serious though.
I'm
Like it,
sure.
and it's like they got like Avatar visual effects, like convincing you that that's a real, like, I don't know. But I think because, listen, I'm into sci-fi. I'm into, like, what could be the
Mhm.
possibilities of the future and aliens. Like, are you into that? That's the question. Are
Yeah,
you that audience?
I'm into it. I just
Oh,
I
okay,
just
okay.
don't know if I'll go watch a
Yeah, yeah,
Netflix
yeah. It's
documentary.
not for everyone,
But
but
I will.
you know what? That makes a lot of sense, because when I put it on at first, and me and my mom, my dad were watching it, they kind of were like knocked out, and I was the only one glued to the TV. So maybe you could call it boredom, but I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good show. It was only 4 episodes. I could see why someone like yourself says they're running out of content
Yeah, ideas.
when you really
Yo, guys,
when you really
we
think
need a
back.
schedule. We need to really schedule. We need to keep
But
pumping
listen, but
stuff
listen,
out.
Christian, man, like, I feel like look at Disney Plus,
This
right? Disney
okay.
Plus is another one where it's like WandaVision, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, Marvel, I'm a huge fan. Like, I love Marvel, whatever. But I feel like that was it for Endgame. Like, that's it. Like, what are we telling more stories now? And now they got the WandaVision about them
What
being like
if?
in a suburban. Oh yeah, what if? I was reading somewhere. Okay, you know about I was reading this book called The Happiness Advantage, and
Mhm.
they talk about the Opto program, and it was one of the
Mhm.
greatest marketing
Mhm.
innovations. And what that is that you make the client join something by default, and it's up to them
Mhm.
to quit, right? So it reminds me of this what if, where it's like, how do we keep the viewers around, or how do we make, like, squeeze the hell out of this
Mhm.
franchise, even if we do run out of ideas.
Mhm.
I know what to do. What if Tony Stark never became Iron Man? Like,
Yeah.
what if, Captain America? Of course you could do that. That's like
Yeah.
with Star Wars. That's like saying, oh, what if Luke Skywalker wasn't the chosen one?
Yeah.
The one to take down Darth Vader. What if it was Han
Mhm.
Solo instead? And then you do a
Mhm.
whole movie, 2 hours and a
Yeah.
half, marketing whatever, and it makes $1
Yeah.
billion. Boom, and then they make another movie. Wait, what if it was Princess Leia? and then you do it really back again. So back on the point though about Star Wars, what about Kenobi? Have you heard about that? Are you a fan of that?
Yeah, like who's gonna play him again?
Ewan McGregor from the
Ewan
prequels
McGregor. Yeah, man. You know what, man? I'll watch it when it comes on Disney on Disney
on Disney
Plus.
Plus. Yeah, no, it will come
I'll,
out on Disney. But it's not a movie; it's a television series.
television series. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you appreciated the originals. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you.
I like
I feel
the
you.
originals are good, man.
The
They're a
originals are
coming of
good.
age story.
Yes, yes.
Nothing
So
beats the
tell me, so
classics,
tell me
man.
about the originals because you're rocking the Star Wars shirt. I want to hear some fandom. You know?
Some fandom.
Yeah, I want to
Yo,
hear. I want
okay.
to hear why you love them. You got to tell me. You got to.
Man, I thought like the way they do the set, the design, the set was just so fucking cool, man. Like it still
Unique.
hold up. It
Yeah.
still looks futuristic.
Yep.
Doesn't matter when I watch it, sick,
Yep.
upset, trying to like make the day go by faster.
Hmm.
Still holds up. Still a great story. It's like a samurai movie in a way. Similar to Eight Samurais, Ten Samurais.
Okay. Okay. I know. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just a good movie. Every time I watch it, I'm like, man, I can't believe like he did such a good job. Like,
It's classic storytelling, yeah, and the way it was shot too. That's something I should note. It's weird when you watch the whole series as a whole, because that's what I try to do, right? Like,
mm,
because I want to see how it plays out. The MCU, right?
mm,
Nothing can't compare it to Star Wars, like especially the original three. But in terms of like the story and how everything just blends, it's like you can watch it from the first film to the 22nd.
yeah,
You know what I mean? With Star Wars, because of the generation, the gaps,
hmm,
and the timeline that they filmed it, and all these different voices, especially when Disney got involved,
hmm,
you just like when you watch it, it's like because now again I
hmm,
finished the prequel, so now I'm going into the originals, right?
hmm,
Now
hmm,
George Lucas, there's a bit of an essence still because he created it and he
hmm,
did the six, but again, you see that disconnect, and then by the time you get to the sequel trilogy, I just watch it just to watch it, like for entertainment.
hmm,
I completely disconnect, especially where the story's going.
hmm.
So that's probably how you feel. That's probably how a lot of people feel, right?
For the sequel, right?
For the sequel trilogy, well,
Yeah,
Disney trilogy especially, man, right?
man, the Disney trilogy, it just wasn't good. The first one was really good.
The
Not gonna
first one
lie.
got you hyped. Yeah, first one got me
Yeah, the
hyped too,
first
but
one it was so cool. Like the practical effects. There's a lot of practical effects
a
on
lot
the
of
first
practical
one.
effects.
I look. I'm a big fan of stuff like that, man. Like how
Hmm.
people make effects, like just with their
The
hands
technical, yeah, the
and make it
technical,
real.
right?
Costs a lot of money, but still, man, like it's so cool. So the first one was really good. It's just the second one. I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm
it's
glad.
not.
I'm glad we could stay friends because the second one for me too. I knew right away in the theater. You know how people went home, they digested it, and
Hmm.
they're like, I'm not feeling it.
Hmm.
Like some people were like, oh, I didn't like it because how Luke Skywalker. Me, it was just the whole story, like how it was presented. The dynamic with Ray and how she was a Mary Sue, but they also didn't challenge the character. Like why didn't
Hmm.
she go to the dark side? Like I thought they were
Hmm.
playing it out. Could be wrong, but tell me this, okay? The way they played out this movie, she was isolated.
Hmm.
She had nobody. She was told to go with this guy Luke and that he would take care of her, and he didn't because of his
Hmm.
own reasons. And the whole movie, she formed a bond with the villain, right?
Hmm.
Which is Kylo Ren. And then at the end, because he saved her life, I was, I thought when he lent out the hand and said, "Come with me, like join me, whatever," that would be a believable decision, like for her to
Hmm.
join him. Do you agree on that?
Yo, man, I thought that was the most dumbest part because like she had no motivation.
But
That's the
that no,
thing. She had
but I'm
no
saying if you,
motivation. Don't
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, no, I'm just gonna say, I was just gonna, sorry, I know I'm jumping in because I'm passionate about this, but that's the thing. If you wanted to keep some motivation, right, or just give
Mm,
her some kind of like human element, you would like, I would believe that if she took his hand and said like, why not? Like if you watch the movie again, because it's all about rewatchability, you have to see if everything makes sense. You could see that it would make sense for her to join the dark side because the light side, kind of abandoned, like they just didn't. There was no connect. Like Luke Skywalker was supposed to be the one, and he just shunned her the whole movie. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like she could
he
rely or fall on anyone else.
did he ask? But we didn't know that as an audience that Luke Skywalker shot her. We didn't know that
No, but like the whole movie, I don't know. Maybe I got to rewatch it again. But I remember like he throws her lightsaber and
because
like
like
doesn't want to train her, or like he has like thoughts about the.
the end of the first movie
Hmm.
was her finding Luke Skywalker on an island. Second movie was her figuring out what Luke Skywalker did when he
Okay.
was like a teacher,
Yeah.
and figuring out that like he was very abusive, and Kylo Ren was the one that ended up destroying the whole village.
Hmm.
And of course, second one ended with Luke Skywalker fighting Kylo Ren, in which like he's able to defeat him. Right? Is
Yeah.
that how it goes? Man, yeah. So as you can tell, I'm not a big fan of it, and I loosely forget. But
Christian's
man,
just rocking the shirt. I love
it come
it.
on,
I'm teasing, bro.
hey,
Yo,
man.
yo, you like the three important films, bro. Because if it was anyone else, everyone else would actually ridicule me and say, "Hey, at least he respects the ones that are legit." Right?
Man, yeah, man. It made by the creator.
Made by the creator.
Yeah, man.
Well, I guess the prequels. What do you think his excuse was? He didn't show up, or what do you think happened?
I think the prequels were like he was trying to grow with the audience, right?
Like he wasn't story wasn't focused, or he was just trying to expand it.
No, because when original came out,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the timeline when original came out. But
97,
when original
77?
27, so when the
Yeah,
sequels came out,
yeah. Oh, when the sequel trilogy or the prequel?
so the original came out when?
The
77,
original came out between 77 and 83, and then
83.
the prequels were 99 to 2005.
So 99, so 83 to 99, right?
Well,
So
there was
that's
a
like what?
gap.
Yeah,
The
that's a big
17,
gap.
yeah,
So like
yeah, huge gap, and it's another
so
generation,
it's
right?
another generation exactly, right? So he was trying to grow with the audience that
Hmm.
saw it when they were
That's a fair
teenagers or
point.
young kids.
Yeah,
So what does that generation like? Politics, policies, betrayal. But you also had to do stuff for the younger generation too, like their kids, hence Jar Jar Binks. It was too much. Was too much. In my
yeah.
personal opinion, it was a little bit too much.
Hmm. No, that's fair. I can see why. The
Like he
thing,
wasn't focused on one
even though,
person.
yeah, even though like for me, I don't mind. Like I watch him, and it is what it is. I can see and I can respect why people pull it apart. I'm not one of those people that defend it. Upon rewatching it, though, I do pick up certain things I think he was trying to do,
Hmm.
like George Lucas. Like a lot of people were not too crazy about Qui-Gon Jinn or that he didn't have much of a role in the movie. But from a character standpoint or from a storytelling, my friend I was talking to the other day, he was explaining that they're not well written, right, as a screenplay, but the story is there. It's just not executed properly.
Hmm.
And I guess it takes like some sort of interest or investment to really care about what the story is. But to the average viewer, if you just watch them, you'll be like, "What am I getting out of this?" Right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Is that it took me a few rewatches to understand the
Hmm.
story, but it's not that it shouldn't be
Okay.
that kind of storytelling, right?
Can we talk about that?
Well, what's up?
The average viewer, because that's the whole point of making
Hey,
a
man, I'm all
movie.
ears.
It's
What
for
are,
the
what are your thoughts?
average viewer. Like I'm
It's about the
tired.
average. From a producer standpoint, let's
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah, like
Christian's
come
a writer
on.
producer. I want to hear it.
I'm so annoyed with all these film artists, man, making all these independent films for the high
Hey, you're hurting
bourgeoisie.
my heart, bro. That I'm an independent
Man,
filmmaker. What are you
it's
talking about?
okay. Dan, let me ask you this question.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you rather your movie be seen by like
Hmm.
a certain type of group of people or be seen by everyone in the world?
Oh, that's obviously hard. The For me with storytelling, the more people that it's like a joke, right? The more people that laugh or hear it, right? The better it
Hmm.
is. And the thing is that's why I always tell you my hero. I always bring up Scorsese and Tarantino is their movies. They have an independent quality to them, and they're made by like it's a niche market, it's a niche idea, but everyone loves them and everyone can respect them, and that's
Yeah,
something
but
to
okay,
aspire to, right?
okay. Dan, this not answer my question, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Would
yeah.
you rather the world see your movie
I rather
or
I
a
rather
certain group of people watch your movie?
I rather no no I rather the film be authentic to whoever is watching it, and
Oh
if
my
that means
God,
no, if that means
Dan. Be
listen,
honest, bro. Be honest. Would you rather the world to see your movie or a certain group of people to watch it?
yeah, the more people the better. You got me on
The
that.
more people, the
The
better.
more
I don't
people the
know
better.
why.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a storytelling. I want the whole world to see it. I don't want a
But
certain
hold
group of
on, would
people.
you compromise? No, because as a writer, right, especially,
Mm,
would you really compromise? Because I know we're developing something right now.
mm.
If I were to told you this project would be compromised or the integrity of it, just so it can get to a wider audience,
Okay,
What
so that's a
would
good
you,
question. That's a
right?
good question. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I would say, yo, what would be the compromise? Because if it's the heart of the story and the moral we're trying to tell,
That's, there you go.
I can't compromise
And there
that.
you go. And that was my
But if it's
point.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
That
that's
was
your
my point.
point. Okay.
That's my point, is that I don't want to compromise. If everything's fine and whatever as is, yeah, I want as many people. But if I have to compromise and whatever, no. If only a certain people have to get to watch it, fine. Like certain people, it's like, obviously you have to pick and choose your battles. You can't, completely just avoid certain things. You have to know how to compromise. But I'm just thinking back to, like, our project or what we're developing,
Hmm.
and I'm saying to myself, imagine, especially for you, because you're the one that originally came up with this idea.
Hmm.
Imagine if, even someone like me were to tell you, no, I don't like this. No, no, the character shouldn't have this, or the character shouldn't
Hmm.
have a certain place in this part. Eventually, as a writer too, you'll be like, okay, hold on, hold on. We're now shifting, right? We're going
Hmm.
away from the story. Star Wars, especially the original trilogy, it was powerful because not only was it a simple story that was focused about a father and a son, it was relatable to everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody, it was universal language. Everybody, so it just so happened to be both, and the vision wasn't compromised,
Hmm.
right? And that's what I can respect. That's what I love about, and that. But that, again, those are unique situations. That's a one in a million, right?
Hmm.
You're not gonna have, for every Star Wars, you're gonna have so many Smurfs movies. So yeah, I'm glad. But what else did you want to talk about with the average viewer? Like, what do you feel? Because what I believe is that a lot of the reason why we see content is because of the average viewer, right?
Yeah.
And because of what's trending, or the Emoji Movie. Like, does anyone know why that was made? Um,
Oh, that's I can tell you that.
no, but do you know what I mean?
I,
Like, it's rhetorical. Like, what I'm saying is, of course, we know why it's made, but it's like, even if the average viewer thinks they want to watch it, they don't know any better. You know what I mean?
hmm.
Like, they don't want to see a movie about emojis, but they made it just to give it a shot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So I guess, like, because we're on the subject of film, like, have you heard about the Wonder Woman
84.
1984? Is that doing any good? I didn't watch it.
84.
Yeah.
I see it getting mixed reviews. I haven't watched it yet. I have lots of scene points with Cineplex, so I'm gonna stream it tonight.
Okay, dope. Yeah.
But it's getting mixed reviews. I'm still quite unsure why people are so mixed about the movie. Gal Gadot is a good lead.
Right.
Um, Patty Jenkins, the director, she's pretty good as well. She makes some really good movies.
Mhm.
So I'm not quite sure. I like the first one, but then again, like it's a movie made for the average people, man. Like it's for the whole population. So of course,
Mhm.
people might be perplexed about the movie, but I'm waiting to see it. You haven't seen it yet yourself, huh?
No, I haven't seen it myself, but even after the feedback, I don't I don't even know if I'm not stingy. I don't even know if I want to spend those points. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I'd rather spend it on something else. Um,
uh,
Maybe a bag of popcorn instead of a
that's
movie. Eh? That's when you know the movie's shit. The guy's
shit.
just like, yeah, I'll take M&Ms, bro, instead. um, Christian's gonna be like that tonight. He's gonna watch it, be like, "Fuck, should have got that large popcorn."
Man, no, it can be good. It can be good. Look,
I heard
I'm the
some
type
bad thing. I heard some bad things, bro. I
man.
heard the film community has been trashing
Yeah, but here's that's my thing. They're nerds. That's my thing.
No,
They're nerds.
some of my
I
friends, some of
make
my friends are filmmakers, bro. They're in the field, bro.
and they're very precise with their art form. They have to
Mm,
be.
right,
But
right.
I'm not thinking about them when I'm making a movie. I'm thinking about Paul who works
It's
nine to
because Chris.
five.
Listen, we all know
Those
you
are
have.
people I'm thinking about, man. Like, who cares what the filmmakers have to
Listen,
say?
listen. You could tell me you have a crush on Gal Gadot,
No,
and you
I
don't
don't
want to
have a
mess
big
that up.
crush on her, man. She's so and so. She's talented, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
but movies like that, I just gotta see like what the story's like. I gotta see what people have to say about it. I'm very interested in stuff like that. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, man, it's a movie for the whole world to watch.
Hmm.
That's what it was made for. So I gotta see what people is complaining about. If it's an artistic style, or if it's like plot points,
Hmm.
okay, I get it. But like end of the day, man, it's still a cool movie.
The
I
big
like it.
thing for
I like it.
film, man, is you got to take it for what it is. I always say that sometimes. Like some movies, I get it. People like pull it apart, but
Mhm.
you got to chill out. Like, people are
Yeah,
still going crazy for Adam Sandler movies, like ripping them apart, and I'm like,
They're great movies.
But
I'm laughing.
but that's what I'm saying. Like for me too, like yeah, it's stupid humor, but whatever. It's escapism. You just watch it and you
Yeah.
laugh after, you know, like
What?
the Halloween doobie, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
fun movie, man. I was
yeah.
cracking up.
I was dying. I'm like, and you know what's crazy is I was watching. I'm like, it's so sad because like those kinds of movies I want to watch with my boys. Like those are the
Yeah.
best movies to watch with someone like you. Like just cracking it up. Like, are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding?
Man. Happy
But people,
Gilmore. I saw a couple days ago. I was
no, Happy
dying.
Gilmore, yeah, those ones for me like are on a different level. Like I love those are like I actually find those really funny. But what I'm saying is again, it's an Adam Sandler movie. You go in it, you watch it. People are just going crazy. Again, nowadays
Man.
it's everyone has a political agenda.
Yeah, man. Yo, it's so annoying, man. That's why people start watching movies because of those people, man.
Well, it's fear, and what the thing is that it stretches to all aspects of life. It's not even just movies. It's anything, man. Celebrity and comedy now, and
Yeah.
career. Say something wrong, they dig it up. And God, man, imagine if like all of human history was like that, with emperors and big tyrants. Oh my God,
Yo, man.
people would. I don't think people would, look at each
Well,
other the same way.
yeah, but you know what? People are allowed to be upset,
Mhm.
but people are also allowed to make mistakes as well, man. Like it's part of life.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like I understand if you're being like flat out racist and whatever, but if you're just like, you said a bad joke or like, you went,
Yeah.
especially if it happened like, 10 years ago. Like what comes to mind is Kevin Hart when he was trying to host the Oscars, like that big deal about, a tweet he
Hmm.
made 10 years ago. Like imagine that, like 10 years ago. And I remember someone arguing, like, he's a completely different person too. And it's
Yeah.
true, man. Like, imagine you giving me shit for like, bro, can't believe you said that when you're 13. It's like, bro, like, uh,
but
you
but
know,
but that being said, people are still allowed to be upset about it. That being
no,
said, people are still
people,
allowed.
but again, it's I don't know. It's just like I guess the context. I get
Yeah,
people,
man. You
things are gonna hurt you in different ways.
the things you say matter, man. I know I'm a big believer of that, man. Be careful with your words. The things you say does matter.
No, the thing I'm not saying like you should just say things off the cusp, but I'm just off the cuff. I think that's the I can't even speak today. But I'm just saying like to a certain extent, like with anything. But again, I think it's just it stems back to back when they were doing all this thing, the riots with the Black Lives Matter and the
Hmm.
protests, and they were asking people to donate.
Hmm.
I have a lot of black friends, and I was telling them, I'm like, and they all agreed. I said, the first thing they people need to do instead of wasting time posting and stuff, yeah, get the message out there for
Hmm.
after the first week or whatever. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, the reason why it's so screwed up out there is you just got to treat people with respect, and
Yeah.
like, and it starts with, hey, how's it going? How's your day? Good
Yeah.
morning. No one talks
Hmm.
like that anymore. And no
No.
wonder the world's screwed up. Everyone's on their phones and whatever. But yet, if you go on
Yeah.
Instagram, everybody's social. But when you
Yeah.
go out there, no one wants to say, how's your day? Like, when was the last time, Christian, someone asked you, how are you doing, man? Like, what's going
Oh
on?
man. Well, if that wasn't like a work situation,
That
like
wasn't at work, but let's be honest. But
yeah,
they asked you that just to be nice, probably, right? Or just to
yeah,
say, hey, what's
yeah.
going
You should
on?
say I'm going to a meeting or something,
Like,
but
my mother, right? Like, she was pulling up on the driveway. Neighbor came outside,
mm-hmm,
and I was with her, and the neighbor's like, hey, how are you guys, whatever.
mm-hmm,
And I'm like, yeah, we're good, whatever. And it's typical, how are you? And then she's like, no, really, like, how are you?
mm-hmm,
And it was just nice, like, to hear that. It was
mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like they actually took the time to ask us, how is everything going? How's everything doing? How are you doing? Especially during this crazy time. Like there's a lot of people that are
Then you
truly
froze. I didn't
suffering.
even
Hmm?
you froze. I didn't even know what you
I
said.
froze. This
Yeah.
conversation's too chill. um, I'm back. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, it's very important, and I'm glad that you see eye to eye on that. It's very important, like what you say. You can't talk stupid. Look at Trump. You
Yeah,
say the wrong
man.
say the wrong thing, you can cause an uprising, right?
Yo,
So
man. Well, man, but that's been building up for years, man.
yeah,
Something that
that's
just happened.
yeah. It's you know what it is, man. If you didn't believe in karma, just look at that whole 4-year run. You know what I mean? Like people people were believing like he was gonna get away with it and whatever, and it's not looking too pretty. You know.
No, man.
And I'm not
Yeah,
for one
he.
to get into politics, but you can agree on that.
Oh man, yeah, man. Trump's an idiot. I'm
Yeah.
very surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised that he won, but
Hmm.
yeah, man, it's crazy times, hard times right now to live in the States, man. I hope everyone in the States is doing well.
Mhm.
and being safe in. But right now, it's crazy.
My big thing is mental health, man, and that's something we'll talk more and more about it
Yeah.
as we have these conversations, especially what you're developing. But
Hmm.
mental health, people don't realize, and they'll say, "No, no, no, I know," and then they don't. They do studies.
Man.
Majority of people don't realize that happiness is first, and then
Hmm.
everything else. Because if you don't have happiness, I know what it's like. I'm speaking from experience.
Hmm.
Being, I've had depression, I've had
Hmm.
anxiety, I've had stress. And if you don't have happiness, it's the worst. It
Hmm.
takes away all joy, all,
Yeah.
appreciation of life.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's why I read that book, The Happiness Advantage. I highly recommend it. And yeah, like, what are your experiences on that? Like, on happiness and stuff? Have you gone through
Man.
your ups and downs, or what's
Oh
going on?
man, that's part of life, man. Life ain't sweet. Like
Yeah.
like I said again, life isn't sweet, man. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be tough. It's supposed to be challenging.
Hmm.
You have to find joy in the things that you do, even though what the things you do may not be fun at the time. There's still some joy there. But main important thing is like you need to know who you are. That's the biggest thing. Some people just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Some people always have the constant need to be right all the time.
Yeah. Which can
And
be
that's
annoying, man.
such a drag, man. Like
Hmm.
imagine you're right all the time. You won't be able to grow as a person.
No, for sure. Like,
Yeah, man.
people need to know when to,
Yo.
or anyone, right? Like, I could be stubborn too. I could want, myself to be right at certain times, but I know for a fact, especially when you get older, you start to realize, in order to get better, in order to improve, especially if you're
Mhm.
dealing with individuals
Yeah.
that are more talented, maybe have more
Mhm.
expert knowledge, you got to just take a moment to listen. And if
Yeah.
you're always talking, you're never listening, right? As
Yeah.
they would say. Um, but yeah, man, it's a crazy time. And like, how's everything going over there? Because you're in Ottawa right now with
Yeah,
this
Ottawa.
pandemic. I heard Ottawa's getting hit. Like, is everything okay?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit serious, a little bit more tense.
You
But I
feel
haven't
it?
been. Yeah, I can sense it. I can see it when I'm talking to my neighbors or walking around
Mm,
my neighborhood. I haven't been downtown Ottawa for the longest time, so I have no idea what it's like right
right.
now. But I'm assuming people are still going out and skating.
Hmm.
I don't think the canal is open yet, but I do see a bunch of skating rinks opening across the city, across the town. I don't know if you know, but Doug Ford wants to implement a curfew next week,
Yeah.
similar to what Quebec is doing. So we'll see if it goes through. My whole thing is that like there's no progress. Like I haven't seen any sight
Yeah.
of progress.
I
I
feel
don't know what.
like I'm supporting like what's going on in a way, because it's like, well, how else are you going to diminish the
Yeah.
spread? But I get some, I don't know, there's like a weird like 1984 undertone. Like, it's just like like that, you know what I mean? That Big Brother
Mhm.
you know, survey, like, think about it, man, curfews, and being told, like Joe Rogan was explaining this on his podcast, like the fact that businesses are being told to shut down
Yeah.
and not operate. It's unprecedented. Like, it has never happened before. I didn't even think it was legal up until now. I didn't even know you could tell a business like you can't be open.
Yeah.
But I guess it's what they call an emergency order. And
Hmm.
again, for the average person now, they know what that means. Um, it definitely gives us a warning, or helps us out, like the younger generation, if this were to happen in the future, like, save up, keep a reserve for a rainy
Yeah.
day.
Builds a lot of resilience.
Builds a lot of resilience too.
That's
Yeah.
for sure,
And you
man.
know what, man? It teaches you. Like, I was talking about this with my family. I, you know, my dad's like, oh, there's the introverts that are probably like prospering, and there's the extroverts that are suffering. And for me, it's
Hmm.
more like, it doesn't matter introvert or extrovert. My whole thing is your ability to be resourceful, your ability to, keep busy, stay creative, and find new ways, right? To just be relevant, and just expand your mind, right?
Hmm.
So for me, it's like, yeah, like, I understand, because I'm a bit of both. I'm introvert, extrovert, so it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I miss that, like, seeing people in public, or even if you're in Toronto,
Hmm.
just the idea of grabbing a beer. I was thinking about it the other day, but for the most part, it's like, it is what it is, right? You know, trying my best here, um, doing what I have to do, whether it's the podcast, the corner talks, the vlogs, and the film. I'm dying to get back out there, get this business going, this
Hmm.
production business, doing shoots and building this brand 94 collection, but for the most part, just have to accept what's going on right now, and I can't afford to go outside, because that's another people another thing people aren't realizing is that it's not just about you. It's if you live at home, if you have
Yeah.
family, right? Like I have a mother that, I
Mhm.
just can't risk anything.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I know you agree with me on that because you've talked to me about many times about the importance of building your craft and just
Mhm.
focusing on how to improve and things like that. Is that how you find yourself during this pandemic? Are you staying productive that way?
Yeah, I'm stay productive that way, man.
You also
You
work.
know,
You're also working too, right? So you're doing
yeah,
the film, the hobby, the film stuff, and you're doing that. And I just want to
yeah.
make something clear though for people is I don't mean for the people that are actually like are in dire situations, or they're staying home and they need to work, like they actually need to make money. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just saying for those that they wish they can go to the mall, or they wish
Mhm.
it's like I get it. It's like you want that luxury back, like with anyone. But those things aren't priority right now. Like the people that are really
Mhm.
suffering, or the people that my heart goes out to, are the ones that they have to stay home because their
Mhm.
business. Like imagine owning a restaurant or a bar, or being a waitress that
Yeah.
relies on tips. I was feeling for people in the industry, my people in the industry in Los Angeles, in California, that I know for a fact. I don't know. I can't remember the statistic, but it's something crazy where, like, I don't know if it was half the population there is like people that live paycheck to paycheck or something, like something
Well,
crazy.
well,
Yeah.
most people live paycheck to paycheck
Well,
though.
yeah,
That's
sorry. Yeah, that most people do. Yeah, even here, right? Like Toronto,
yeah.
especially Toronto, the city, with
Oh
those
yeah.
with those $2,000 monthly rents. But for the most part, yeah, like, but I don't know. I just, yeah, again, Joe Rogan was explaining on his podcast how like people are living in tents in California. Like that's grim, man. That's scary situation. So the fact that it got to that point, I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah,
to think
but
of it. You know?
to go by what Joe was saying, like
Yeah.
that's been there before Corona. They've been
Oh
having the
yeah. I
housing
didn't.
crisis
Oh well, yeah, of
before.
course, yeah. And then the fires didn't help either. I should mention
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
so they have a whole thing going on over there. I'm not from over there, so I'm not quite sure, but
Yeah. You believe it's
um,
bigger than the pandemic.
oh
Yeah.
oh my God, they have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Even though like we're only focusing on their politics,
Hmm.
in terms of housing, in terms of like healthcare, it's nuts over there, man. I'm very grateful to be in Canada, especially in Ontario.
Hmm.
Dougie needs to get his shit together, but
Yeah, I was gonna say like we're not the
Dougie needs
most.
files.
The things I can appreciate is like at least Serb like came through. Like they're still trying to
Yeah.
vote something for Serb, and people are like
Yeah.
at food banks and dying. But at least Serb came through, and employment
Yeah.
insurance. But in terms of like how they operate, man, it's pretty much the same. Like,
Mm,
they do things, they act on it. I remember one reporter was like, her article was basically saying like, stop saying you're gonna make stricter measures, or just do it, or how about
mm,
not do it, because it's not a reality TV show. Like these are people's lives you're dealing with. Because it's kind of true,
mm.
right? Like think about that. You read a headline
Yeah.
and it's like Doug Ford considering tougher measure. And it's like, is it yes or no? Like I don't
No.
have
Yeah.
time. Like imagine for me, I'm in a fortunate situation. I don't have to like I read that and I say, wow, like what could it
Mm,
be? But there's people that read it and be like, oh my God, like I need to know because I have a business.
mm.
Like I have a bar, I have a restaurant, I own something that is not essential. What does that mean for me? So I feel for those people. And I know you studying business, you studying crunching those numbers. You feel for them on a
Yeah.
different
Big
level though.
time. No, big time,
Yeah.
because that's all to put food on their table, man. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like people will go to extreme measures to put food on their table to provide for their families and their wife and their husband. So it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's really really tough, man. That's why the government got to give up more money to those businesses, to the business owners, and
Yeah.
compensate them while they're trying to figure this thing out. But what's crazy too is that they're finding new COVID strains
Yeah,
in across
that's
the world.
and there was a guy talking, and he's like, he doesn't believe it's ever going to end the lockdown. They're just going to just keep
No,
making excuses. Like, yeah, no, there's
yeah,
strains here.
yeah,
The vaccines already ran out. Like, there's just a
hmm
lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty hopefully it's just a phase,
yeah.
but yeah.
But here's the thing, like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna expect them to figure it out in one shot.
No.
That's a little bit too much for me to ask them. Hey, get your shit together and figure it
Mhm.
out right
Because they're
now.
just as human. That's what people don't realize. When you
Yeah,
boil, because you got to boil everything down, right? Just like
yeah,
how the world works, everything comes down to money, right? You just
mm,
boil it down. That's all it is. What can you do in exchange for this, right?
mm,
Transactional. Remember, you said everything in
mm.
life is a transaction.
It's just
And when you boil
transactional.
it,
Yeah.
when you boil it down, politics and whatever, you just really boil it down to the root.
Mm,
they're just human beings wearing a
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
and you as a human being, along with your collective group, society, decided you're going to listen to that
Yeah.
person. That's all it is,
Man,
man. That's all it is.
it's so can we say can we stay in that subject for
Like,
a
I
while?
understand if it, hold on, sorry, I just want to say, I understand if it's like an Elon Musk, like,
Yeah.
because that's like an exceptional, like, different, but that's a 1 in a trillion, not even a billion.
But
For the most part of the way the world works and how society's run, as what was it, Steve Jobs? Yeah, I think he said something like, everything you see in the world was created by nothing, by a person no smarter than you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's so accurate. You know,
yeah,
they're
man.
just, we're just human, only human.
Yeah, we're
You know,
all people, man. We're all
only
people.
human, bro. Anyways,
Yeah,
we're on that point. What would you want to talk
yeah.
about?
I was gonna say, like even Dr. Dre got a brain aneurysm like last week, and
Oh
people were
crap!
so people were, yeah, you
I didn't
didn't
hear
know
about
that?
that. No, I didn't hear about
Oh yeah.
this. Tell me about this. What's going on? What
So
happened?
he's had a brain aneurysm and he
Okay.
was in ICU for a couple of days. He
Hmm.
finally told the world that he's doing better, he's doing fine.
Hmm.
But people were so upset, but like, how can Dr. Dre get a brain aneurysm? I'm like, he's a person, he's a human being, just like you and
Yeah,
me.
people freak out.
Brain aneurysms
Yeah,
happen. That's just part of life, you know?
it reminds me. I was watching the Justin Bieber documentary earlier
Mhm.
last year, Seasons, and his music, like, sometimes are catchy. I like his whole style, but I've been more interested in the brand overall. I really like how
Mhm.
things are just put together and the street style and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is that in the documentary, he was explaining like what he went through in the last 5 years, and he said something that I really appreciated and understood, and not a lot of people understand, is, there was he was crying with his girlfriend or his wife which is his wife now, and he was on a bench and they were taking photos and they're like, why is Justin crying? And they were freaking out, like,
Mhm.
they were just so confused or didn't understand. And he says to the audience, he's like, it's like, I'm not allowed to be human, like, they're not
Yeah.
giving me permission to be human. And it's like, it's so true. Like, think about that. Like, as much as
Yeah,
we think
man.
we know him, we don't. Like, I
No,
tell myself
we
that,
know
like,
nothing about
if
him.
I were to run into like Tarantino, my hero,
Mhm.
that's why there's the expression, don't meet your heroes,
Mhm.
is because it's very unlikely that it's very likely that it'll be the same person
Yeah.
you thought of, right?
Mhm.
And they're human. They're people. They have their own
Yeah,
interests, their
man.
own whatever. So again, when he said that, I was like, yeah, you know what? That's screwed up. That's how the world works. Like, they
Yeah,
look at
man.
that, and you know, again, everyone's gonna have an opinion, but the fact that you're putting it out there and you have to make people know, it's like, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, man. That's another good thing. Sometimes you gotta
Gary
keep things to yourself, man. No one
Gary
cares.
Gary V, bro, he said, I remember him saying, he's like, if you have the time to put out a nasty comment,
Yeah.
to ridicule or bring down someone, just think about for a second, like, how much
Yeah.
of a bad life are you living?
Yeah.
And I thought about
Honestly,
that, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because for me to like waste that time, I like,
man.
F you, you fucking, you're slow. It's like, wow, what
Yeah.
did I get out of that?
Yeah.
What, even if that person does respond and starts getting angry, you just pissed off another person
Person.
for no reason, and you don't even
Oh.
know what they're going through. Like, what if they're going through like a career
Mm,
crisis or a financial distress, and you just piss them
mental
off
health.
even more,
Yeah.
or mental health? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yo, it's nuts out here, man.
It's nuts.
It's
It's like the
nuts.
Wild West, West
Yeah,
World,
like,
Wild West World.
people take no accountability for things they say. That's another crazy thing for me, man. It's like you're not gonna take accountability for it. I know for me, I see a lot of comedians, and it's hard to be a comedian because you're always doing an attempt, to
Mhm,
make someone laugh. And attempts are hard because sometimes they land, they
mhm,
don't land.
mhm.
And one major things comedians always say is like, "Hey, man, like it's a joke. I wasn't trying to be malicious. It was a joke. It was an attempt at a joke."
Yeah.
And I get it, but at the end of the world, not end of the world, end of the
End
day,
of the day, yeah.
it's the words still matter. You,
Yeah.
you cannot tell people how to react to the things that you do.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I
Yeah,
mean, and comedians,
it's a hard job.
there are some comedians that say they Bill Burr, I think, was explaining that,
Mm,
his buddy Joe Rogan, right? And he was like, I think I might have insulted a woman and she was getting
mm,
emotional and I felt bad and I apologized because I'm a human, right?
yeah,
But again, that's the nature. It's a style, but it's also the nature as a comedian as a whole, is that they're savage. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
they're supposed to be like that, right? They're trying
mm,
to push,
yeah.
right?
Try a
Until
reaction.
someone until someone tells them you got to step back, and then that's when you step back. But sometimes they go way too far the line that if they step back, they're still over the line, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just again, people react a certain way, and um, I can understand if you're insulted. So I just my whole thing is to be quick on attacking and saying like, oh, like the Justin Bieber thing or the Dre thing. Like
Yeah.
it's so funny, like you said, like why did they have a brain aneurysm? Were people actually saying why did he have a brain aneurysm?
Yeah, I mean, people think like
No, but like
Dr.
no, not
Dre is
why,
like,
not why. Like why did he have one? It's more like you're saying like how could he have had one?
well,
Like
yeah,
what I mean? Like doesn't he
exactly.
have money?
Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
think he's a saint. They think the
And,
guy can just,
and that's another thing. Work. We talk about this all the time. As much as we aspire for like great things, we're not saying we're going to be lazy bums.
yeah,
But money and work, man, it doesn't. You're still human. Like
you
it doesn't
man, bro.
define you, right? Like Dre, he'd have another billion, and it would still get
So
poor
yeah,
Steve Jobs, poor bastard, died at like in his 50s of
yeah.
cancer, right?
Well, Steve Jobs died in his own hand, man,
Yes, yes. A
because
lot
of
of
his
people.
diet and
Yeah,
lifestyle. Like he didn't
yeah, yeah.
believe in
Well, he tried
medicine
to
that
cure
well.
himself. He even tried to cure himself
Yeah,
based on his own diet. So
yeah,
yeah, that's
man.
a different situation. But what I believe, I know. And if he did that surgery, they said he would have a higher
He would
chance
have
of surviving.
survived.
I don't know why he was
It's
that
the
stubborn.
ego, man. It's that ego, bro.
But the universe,
Constant need to be,
this is what I mean. Like it makes
constant
me
need to be
laugh.
right.
The universe does not care that you're a
Hmm.
revolutionary, you're an
Yeah,
inventor. They don't. You're only human in its eyes.
man.
Like nature, the law of nature. Remember we were talking about this law of nature at one time. We were talking about the law of nature, and that
Always wins.
law of nature always wins, man. We can
Always
dissect.
wins.
We can say it's like those pickup artists. They can figure
Yeah.
out what to say and whatever. Like you're not going to compete with something that's been around for like millions of years. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like some guy that has 80 on going to be here for a blink of an eye is
Hmm.
going to change how the law of nature react. And that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying is get on that subject. I know we're going off tangent here and there, but you got to just let it flow with that. People that
Yeah.
sign up for the pickup artist and trying to figure out lines to say, it doesn't work. I'm telling
No.
you, every single person, guy, girl, whatever, works and acts differently. We were talking
Yeah.
about this where it was like the only reason why it's a failure is because someone else told you it was a failure or because of
Yeah.
the way that person reacted. Because there are so many situations where a guy will say something to a girl that if said it to another girl, it would never have happened. Like
Hmm.
I've heard guys like, "You're gonna be the mother of my kids one day,"
Hmm.
and that happened to like Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like he said that to her when he first
Hmm.
met her, and it happened, right?
Hmm.
But if he said that to another woman, she might have been. It's like, no, calm
Yeah.
down there, buddy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or if he wasn't even a celebrity altogether, right?
Yeah.
Again, all these different variables and factors. So it reminds me of all back to the COVID topic. This guy was so savage, a reporter. He's like, I think with these, because all these politicians now
Hmm.
they're traveling, even
Hmm.
though they're telling us to stay home.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think these politicians aren't getting the memo that just because they take a vacation doesn't mean COVID takes a vacation.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's so true. Like COVID's a bacteria, it's a disease, it's a virus, right?
Hmm.
And they're thinking that by doing it doesn't work for me, but can work for everyone else. And it's like, no, the way you're going to stop the spread, the way you're going to hold it together, or at least try to, is give people some sort of legitimacy by following the
Hmm.
rules, by being a role model. So what happened to that finance minister, man? Just had to retire.
Well,
Call it
yeah.
good.
Well, he had to go, man. Like, come on, bro.
But
He could,
he should be reprimanded, man, because like people are getting fined out here. Fucking yeah, it's just
yeah, man,
it's
dude.
crap, bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
man. Like, come on, man. Take away his pension, man. Fuck this guy.
But like, are you kidding me, man? There's businesses getting fined. There's like people getting fined at like a
Yeah.
birthday party, like celebrating like their
Yeah.
2nd-year-old birthday. Like
Yeah, man. They're ridiculous.
it's pathetic. And then all he says is a statement. I'm sorry. You're not sorry, bro. You did it.
No,
And he even and it's not
you're
like
upset you got caught.
yeah. And you'll
That's all it
at
is.
the end of the speech, he's like. He's like, damn it. But you reminded me, I think my dad was telling me this where he did a Zoom interview and while he was on vacation and he changed the background. And you taught me that. You said you could change the background. You can put like a
Yeah.
green screen. You
Hmm.
make yourself in San Francisco
Hmm.
because you don't want people knowing where you are. And I'm like, yeah, of course someone like that would use that. Because I'm like, who would use that? Just use use a blank background and you don't know where I am, right?
Hmm.
I'm in my house, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no judgment. I don't have anything nasty to say about anyone. I have no judgment. I just certain things need to be addressed, and you know everyone is just doing their own thing. That's what I feel, man. And everyone just going their own direction. Kind of like at the beginning of the conversation, we were talking about our own regiments
Hmm.
and our own routines, and that's how I go about life. You stay in your lane, we do our thing. Sometimes people cross paths,
Hmm.
and that's all you can look forward to, really, right? Getting worked up, like on social media and all that. You got to post and drop. Joe Rogan says that, post and
Yeah.
drop, and I've been doing
Yeah.
that even before I listened to him.
Hmm.
You post it, you walk away. You don't
Yeah,
get
man.
involved in whatever. Luckily, I
Oh.
don't deal with anything, but if I did, because I have in the past, it's laughable. Like the
Hmm.
best thing you can do, and if anyone's suffering with bullying, cyberbullying, anything like that, is to stay silent on social media. A text, you stay silent, it's a killer. It's deadly.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it staying silent does work, man. Like, but the thing too, man, like people that deal with cyberbullying, such a hard thing to do because you're seeing those kids at school. That's the fucking
No, no,
thing.
no. Well, the kids. I'm talking about, like, you're right about that. Yeah,
You
you're
see that
seeing the
guy at
kid.
school.
Well, that is a different topic altogether.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just talking about, like, engaging or like getting into Twitter wars and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Okay,
there's
okay,
just
now I know
no
what you're
time
talking
for
about.
that. You know what I
Yeah, no
mean? Yeah.
time,
Just to be
because that's
clear.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say too, man, especially in Twitter, because right now I'm in Twitter
Mhm.
and I'm like seeing all these people tweeting. I'm like, there's no way this is a real person tweeting. Like this has to be a bot.
Oh, they say that. Yeah, they say like 40% of,
Man,
yeah. I don't know, something crazy like that is
yeah.
not even legitimate. Yeah.
And what's crazy too now is like financial markets, in terms when people are buying stocks, either at Nasdaq or the Dow Jones, they're buying the stock based on speculation. That's how the markets work.
Wow.
And they're seeing a lot of speculative tweets. One big thing that happened this week was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is raising in price and it's going to surge big time.
Hmm.
So I'm going through this tweets. I'm like, there's no way all these people are saying are saying the same thing. Those are actually legitimate people. No one's saying anything on the contrary. I want like this is kind of like a conspiracy,
Hmm.
but fuck it, indulge me. I do believe there are like hedge companies that are using Twitter bots to raise prices for certain companies in the stock market. That's a real
Today,
thing,
yeah,
man.
nowadays it's high things. You gotta talk about, like, manipulation. This
Man,
this COVID vaccine, I understand people with long-term effects, but when people start saying, DNA manipulation, and that's when I start turning it off. Like, okay, enough. Like microchips in the bloodstream, and it's like, okay.
I know,
Like, I
but
understand if you're scared about a long-term effect, but like then you start going sci-fi, and it's like, okay, like this is where you got to watch out, because there's videos out there, bro, that try to convince you of all this stuff. You know.
but but then is what I'm saying about those like people doing like speculative tweets in the markets. Like that's not too far fetched because like
No,
there's
no, for sure.
man,
No, no,
that's
no, no. What
crazy.
I'm saying is that it goes back to the idea of manipulation, where it's like, I believe you're saying, like, there's users, or there's some kind of these bot accounts that are uh,
Controlled
responsible
by
for, yeah, exactly, like responsible for markets going down, or influencing real authentic users
yeah
to think a
to
certain
buy
way, right? Yeah, of
yeah to buy
course. Yeah,
certain
yeah, yeah.
stocks to drop certain stocks
Yeah,
to raise the
yeah.
value of certain
That's
stocks.
exactly what I'm trying to say, man.
Yo, man,
Manipulation, bro.
it's crazy because like yo, I'm gonna do more investigation into bots, man,
There
because
was
I
something
got
about, that's why I can't get a PS5, because these bots, yo.
yeah they're buying all the
That's why.
stock,
Yeah,
huh?
these bots are buying all my. But it's not a joke, as much as people want to say, like, nah. It's you go into. I went into a checkout the
Mhm.
minute, the second it said we're in stock, and let's say even a few people were ahead of me. Like, I was the first one, I know for a
Mhm.
fact, because I was all the way to the end of the checkout, and I was about to click proceed to checkout,
That's a crazy checkout.
and it grayed out, and it kicked me out, and then it asked me to sign in again, and I said, I signed in like 5 minutes ago, 5 seconds ago. So what I'm saying is that bot theory is real, man, because it kicked me out right away. That means that there's something going on. There's some kind of tampering. You know,
Yeah,
like
man.
why would it kick me out and then ask me to sign in again if I'm already ready to pay? You know what I
Man,
mean?
wait, I'm so crazy. Like, well, not crazy. Like the checkout. So look, how long did it take you to check out? Like 10 minutes? Like five
No,
minutes?
that's my point is that because I was one of the first people, I believe.
Mm,
This was, I think, Walmart. This happened on two occasions, Walmart and Best Buy. Well, Walmart, I remember vividly because it was in my cart. It lasted about 5 minutes. It was like processing, and then it finally got into the last page. And I was already signed in again because it remembers. Because when you
mhm,
go through checkout, right, all the prompts, it tells you your banking info, your credit card information. So that's how I know that I'm signed in.
mhm,
And again, I was about to press place order, like the last
mhm,
button, and it just grayed out, kicked me out, asked us, "What's the password?" Sign back in. I'm like, "What?" Like, why would it ask me? Why wouldn't it just say it's out of stock? You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
what's going on? So again, I could be reading into it, but if you go on Twitter, there are people that are going crazy saying bots, bots, bots.
Yeah, I'm
There are people,
sure,
but it
man.
has to be, man, because there are people on eBay and whatever. They have like 5 PlayStation 5s. That's
Yeah,
impossible because it's a limit one per household. Now, I'm
man.
sure that they change credit cards, whatever. But again, to do all that, it would take so much luck and timing to get five. Think about that. You would have to two. I understand. Let's say you luck out twice, but five. That means you have to create five different accounts.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just there's something going on.
Yeah, those scammers are working together as a group.
But I don't.
I'm
But
sure of it.
but I'm not going to feed into that because again, this is what I mean by it's important to have a hobby. It's important to have some type of sort of direction because I am not. I refuse to pay anything a dollar more than market value. You know, if I were to
Yeah,
get one, right?
good to get one. Yeah,
And I'm so into my craft now that I'm starting. I'm not that I'm not going to get it, but it's just kind of like you know what I mean. If it comes, it comes, right?
yeah, man.
People freaking out on Twitter, like, "Where's my PS5?" It's like, "Whoa, chill, chill, it's coming." There's not even, there's like one game out. It's like Spider-Man Miles Morales.
It's a good game. I played that game.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I played it for
PC?
PS4. No,
Oh,
PS4.
PS4. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You didn't tell
Yeah,
me.
man.
That's crazy, man. Because you played Cyberpunk 2077.
Hmm.
So you got it the day of when it came out?
Yeah, man.
Dirty
I love
boy.
Spider-Man, man. I'm
So
a
you're a
big fan
gamer.
of. Yeah, well, not a gamer.
You got a game, right? We got the headset, so you look like a
You got
gamer
a
to me. If you
headset,
guys are watching
man.
the YouTube version, you know what I'm saying? This guy, he
You
has a
got a
Star
gamer
Wars shirt. I
headset.
don't know, man. This guy's trying to convince me he's not into any of this stuff.
Yo,
But
man, because I wear a t-shirt and I have a headset, I'm a gamer now.
so it's one of those guys where it's like I wear the faded Captain America shield, and I'm a Marvel guy. You know what I mean? I know the movies.
You know, man, it's crazy, man. Like,
Uh,
I'm not an expert. I just like the
no,
shirt.
I just like bugging you. I just like bugging you.
But man, but yeah.
Anyway,
So,
man.
so what's the plan this week? What you doing this week?
So his plan is just keep doing those corner talks, those vlogs. If
Man, they're
anyone,
looking good.
thanks, buddy, appreciate it. Yeah, it's
They're looking really good.
thanks. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm actually gonna discuss my artworks this week. Try to trickle in some of like I do self help, but also like a lot of showcasing my drawings. Really proud of them. So I'm
Are you
probably gonna
drawing?
discuss. Yeah, there's it's mild, right? Like I've
Mm-hmm.
only started last October consistent, right? Steady. But I got a report back for 2020 year
Mm-hmm.
end. And according to their numbers, they say I progressed, right? I gained
Nice.
like five or seven subscribers over the course of the year.
That's good.
I'm developing more likes. I notice I'm getting more of a likes, even our podcast videos.
Mm.
So it's all about, yeah, developing the brand and expanding. I want to talk to more people on this podcast, right? And I have some friends lined up. It's just a matter of getting everyone's schedule freed up. So yeah, man, I'm just you just got to keep at it. But I have fun with it. Like it's when I do those videos, like the last one I did, how to approach 2021. It's um, it's a great way to you know teach yourself, get an understanding of the lessons you're trying to share with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how to
Mm-hmm.
better yourself and how to become the best version of yourself and things like that. Yeah, I'm just thinking, man, it's a marathon, like you said.
Yeah,
Like just talking about it, I'm thinking to myself, like just how far
man.
it doesn't feel like I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes, but I have not even close to
Mm-hmm.
like living a full lifetime. Do you know what I mean? So it's gonna take some time, man. It's gonna take some progress. And the beauty about this dream, the beauty about this craft is that it can happen at any time.
Yeah.
You never know who you'll run into. You never know who will see a film. You hear it all the time with celebrities. Like my family was asking, like, because we went to New Year's Eve actually in New York
Mhm.
a year ago, and Post Malone performed, and my mom never heard of him, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's amazing." He's like, "How did he get famous? What was going on?" I'm like, "Spotify." This guy was making music, was pumping out stuff. White Iverson put it on, woke up the next day, 200,000 streams overnight. It's people don't realize, like, it sounds easy, and it also can be very easy in that essence, right? It just takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of
Mhm.
dedication.
Yeah, man. It's shooters gotta shoot. Like I always said, man. You gotta put yourself out there.
The
Uh,
important thing, man, is, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Man.
no, man. But that's what I wanted to say. Like shooters gotta shoot, man. Like you can hold into your craft, hold into your content as much as you want, but like you need to be out there. And if it hits, it hits, and you're gonna like see tremendous growth that way, which is a good thing because like the way you can scale with content is insane to me, man. Like every time I see people like scaling on YouTube, scaling on Spotify, it's like, man, that's so dope. Like this person did it by themselves. You can tell they
It's
did it by
inspiring, man.
themselves
It's inspiring, man.
because they don't have a major label behind them. Because
No.
there are industry plants, as me and you both know.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
many of them.
There's algorithms, and yeah.
There's
Yep.
many of them. Your favorite singer might be an industry plant. They thought of
Yeah.
them, or thought of her in the boardroom.
Yeah, man. Can you give me an
Your favorite,
example though? Can you give me an example?
oh, Lana Del Rey is the one that comes to mind all the time.
Really? Lana Del
Uh,
Rey. I thought she
Lana
was
Del
genuinely
Rey.
talented, no? Sia?
Doesn't mean
Sia?
that she's not talented. It just means they thought of someone that can has the same aesthetic as her,
Hmm.
and they just put her in it.
What about Sia or like Dua Lipa?
See, no, I think Sia was a writer
Oh, right. She was doing it
before.
for like 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a writer before. Like Billie Eilish. I,
Billie
I think
Eilish? Not a
I
fan,
think I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of her music. I think she's good, but
but she's an
so
industry plant.
I think so, man. Like there's something that doesn't make sense with her. Like the
Huh.
way I see her growth, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like I never seen a growth like
She's
that from her.
skyrocketing, man. It's crazy. She did a Bond movie. Like, what?
Yeah, she did song for Bond, right?
Yeah, but the music, it's hard. I know what you mean though.
Like
Like there's
like
some,
there's something that doesn't make sense.
but you know what, man? And that's that. I think back to my book, Power of Now, the book that I
Mm,
love reading. That was my 2020 book. Not my book, but you know what I
mm.
mean. The book says, one of the biggest lessons it says is, you need to learn in life to surrender, not give up, but just surrender to life doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't make sense. We're all doing our thing. And I guess back to what you're saying about Billie Eilish, it's like, yeah, we can call it, industry plant and all that, but maybe it's just so happens to be like it's just working out in her favor. Like there are so many talented people that don't even get that recognition, and they're talented. You know what I mean? And I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you just got to surrender to the idea that it is what it is. You got to trust the process, as cheesy as that sounds, cliche as that sounds, but more importantly, trust yourself. Trust
Hmm.
yourself that if you're really meant for it, that's what I tell myself, Christian. That's how I develop some sanity with this dream. Is if I'm really meant to tell these stories, if I'm really meant to be on a different, on a level that I inspire, as many people as I can with my storytelling, my movies, podcast content, whatever it may be, then so be it. If I'm
Hmm.
really meant for that. But if it's always going to be a challenge, or if I'm always going to be struggling or whatever, then maybe it's not, meant for that path. You can only fight it for so long, right? You just have to have that natural ability, and people have to respond to you. The market will decide. Gary Vee always says the market will decide.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm putting out this stuff. That's why we put out this stuff. That's why we're working on that project. Is we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know
No.
what's going to happen. I feel good
No.
doing this. That's why I do it. I
Yeah.
enjoy talking to you. It's a great way to keep in touch with people and get their voice heard, because you have a lot to say,
Hmm.
as with a lot of the people that I want to bring on. And it's just a great opportunity to just talk about, just get our voice heard, and whatever happens, man. You know,
Yeah.
we can't
But
really control can't really
I
control the outcome.
I know you can't really control the outcome, but come on, man. Like you're working really hard, but how annoying would it be that couple executives got together and like create a persona just to sell something in the market because they saw the numbers going that
No, I
way?
understand, man, but
That's not
I know.
authentic enough.
I
That's
know that.
that's I know. Like I feel bad for the artists. Like me, I love the artists. I love
Christian, I'm
seeing
thinking about that
artists.
every day, man. I'm thinking
I
about that
love the
every day.
artists, man.
I
I
know.
love seeing the struggle. I love to see the hustle. So it breaks my heart when like they don't get their shot because some executive is like, hey, like we can see this young girl similar to other young girls. We saw most of them do crazy numbers doing that type of pop music. Let's just create one.
But it doesn't even happen at that level, like celebrity
It
status.
does.
I'm saying that it also happens at,
There's nothing wrong
my,
being industry plant, by the way.
no,
There's
what I'm
nothing
saying,
wrong with it.
no, what I'm saying, forget industry plan, just that notion of, you know, like I witnessed it where I really thought I had a shot working with this director and,
Mm,
collabing, and just he really like sought out for me. But there's someone else that was in the classroom that he was just, eyeing more, that had no experience,
mm-hmm,
right? And I'm saying, what? Like, what am I doing wrong?
mm-hmm,
And again, I could have fought it. I could have made all these things in my head, but I just choose to ignore it and just say it is what it is,
mm-hmm,
because they decided to work together and create projects and whatever. And I just said, I'll have my time, and that's just not for me. Because
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is, we only have so much energy,
Yeah.
and we only have we should only spend most of that energy on positive, if not only on positive energy. And you know instead of thinking about these industry plans, not that I know you're not getting sick over it, but even if you do for a second think about all these industry plans, it's like, who cares? Do whatever you can, do the best you can in your craft, and the rest, like, you can't control that, even if you wanted to, right? Even if you found out or discovered, she came on, she's like, yeah, I'm an industry plant. She still has a huge market, bro. Like, there's still a lot of people that buy Billie Eilish music or
Yeah.
merchandise or whatever, right?
People don't care about that.
But I'm saying is that, like, yeah, like, at the end of the day, it's like they don't, for the longest
People
time, I
don't
bet you
care.
they made that assumption about Bieber, right? Like, oh, like, he's a product and this and that, but it's like he stood the test. He's still relevant. Posts a song, still gets over 100 million views. Like, you can't fight that. You just have to accept it, right? As Gary Vee says, that's my principle. The market will decide. You
Mm-hmm.
know that you can influence the market to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, you can manipulate them. You know how you were saying, like, you can get people to view the song, right? You can put it in your face, like
Yeah.
Billie Eilish. But again, for it to be chosen in a James Bond movie, for it to win Grammys, or for it to be
Well, but we both know that means nothing, though. We both
okay,
know they
sorry. Okay,
buy.
yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
both
I'll
know that
retract
means
that. I'll
nothing.
retract that. I'll
We both
retract
know that means
that.
nothing because they had
Look
those
at the
deals
poor
and
weekend.
agreements.
Look at the poor weekend. Yeah, the poor
Yeah,
weekend. That poor bastard didn't even get a
we know that
nomination.
means nothing.
Hold on. Sorry. I mean, the views and the following and stuff. I really do believe, like, at the end of the day, they're people, and they're not getting paid to follow these people. They're not getting paid to like their music.
Oh,
They're
some
clearly,
people are, man. There are
they
farms for
are
that.
crap.
Dude.
Yo,
Do
I
you, want
gotta
me to,
get.
do you want me to uncover the veil for you? What's going on in these
Oh my
social media
god! So there's
companies?
no. I understand the influencers, but are you talking about, like, regular average people? Because we're going back to the average people.
No, I'm talking about those bot farms in India that are just clicking away YouTube videos and Spotify streams. That's a big business. I
We
don't know
gotta
if you
get
knew
it. We
that.
gotta get this podcast in India. I gotta start hashtagging
Yo,
India.
don't do that, man.
No,
Let's
I'm
make
just joking. I'm
let's make the
joking.
growth organic.
I'm joking. Christian's
But
afraid I'm gonna sell out.
yo, but man, come on, man. It's a product in the marketplace, man. If it's good, it's good. If it's not good, then you try it, and that's
But I
part of
like
the
that. I
game.
like that. I like that word. But that's the thing, man. Is that we're not trying. If it happens, it happens. But we're not trying to do this podcast to, like, reach a billion
Yeah.
streams. We're doing this to get our voice out there, and it's also
Mm,
fun, and it's also a
yeah.
creative outlet. Creative outlet. That's the key here.
Mm,
Anything that I do is always a creative outlet. Drawing. I don't get paid for it, but I love to draw.
mm,
Maybe one day someone might want to buy a drawing that I do. Great,
mm,
but I'm not doing it to get to that point. I'm doing it because I actually enjoy it. Like, I enjoy this conversation, and that's the
mm.
key. What you said, also organic. I'm relying on that.
Organic,
With
man.
regards to Corner Talks, my vlogs, man, I'm following what they said, put tags, put hashtags, whatever,
Mm,
post it on Facebook, Twitter. The market will decide. And so
yeah.
far, I'm enjoying the feedback. I have
Mm,
people, and that's what Gary Vee says. You have to enjoy who you have at the moment. Stop
yeah.
thinking about the people that are coming. People respond to my videos, man, on
Mm,
IGTV. They DM me. People
yeah.
I haven't talked to in 5 years. Hey, man, by the way, really appreciate you, like, talking about these videos. One guy was like, a lot of people need to wake the fuck up. I'm gonna send this
Yeah.
to my friend.
Yeah.
Like, he was just inspired, and that satisfaction, just to know that I'm helping someone.
Yeah. because there's impact there. And there's another thing. I forgot a company name, but it's a company that makes podcasts for like different other companies.
Okay.
So they create content podcasts for other companies.
Mhm.
And I was listening to him talk. He was basically saying like, I don't really care if this podcast has like 50 views or 1,000 views or 1,000,000 views.
Yeah.
All I care is having that one executive
Mhm.
and that so and so building that makes decisions, listening to the podcast, and then want to do business with me. That's all I care about.
Gary,
I'm
Gary,
I'm like that's brilliant.
Christian, that would you say that's exactly that our intentions? My intentions?
Yeah,
That's
like
exactly it. What do I when I talk to you, what do I always say? All it takes is that one view. And
one
by the way,
view.
I haven't gotten the executive at Universal, but
Mm,
I have gotten that one view, whether
mm,
it's a future project that I worked
mm,
on this past year, or a connection, or just a friend in
mm,
film, that because I posted, out of the 4 views it got, one of them happened to be a friend that said, "Hey, by the way, like,
mm,
this is amazing. Like, want to catch up?" Which
mm.
leads to a project, which leads to this, which leads to that. So again, back to Gary Vee, my guy. He said, "Yeah, people hate when they post something and only get 2 likes or they only get 50 views.
Who cares? Yeah,
How do you know out of those 50 views, it's not an executive at CNN looking for a new
yeah,
journalist?
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
man.
And again, people will laugh and say, like, no, that's far fetched. It's like, no, it's not, because if that's your intention, right? If you're doing it for
Mm,
viral videos, I understand. But if that's your intention to like have a future in journalism or filmmaking, right?
mm.
You're on the right path by putting yourself out there,
Out
because
there,
don't you want that, like, feedback?
man. I okay.
The
I'm gonna
average
see
user, bro. The average user.
the average user, man.
That's what this podcast is gonna be called, the average user.
Man, so have you seen Soul, the Pixar movie Soul?
No, I have to yet to watch it. No spoils. No joking. But
Oh,
just,
jeez.
but is it a good one? Is it a good one
Yeah,
or no?
it's a great. I seen it second time I saw it this
Beautiful,
week.
beautiful.
Great movie, but man, there's one of the lines saying there's like a saying in this movie.
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil it for you,
Okay, okay.
but like you should watch it, man. It
No,
it, it tells
I want. I was just waiting for the fan. Like trying to make it a fan jam, but everyone's always
Fam
busy.
Jam. But yeah,
What?
mate,
Yeah.
you'll know that saying, and you'll send me a message right away. Be like, is that it? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like this is what it is.
So I'll pick it out. Okay, so don't say
Yeah,
it, but I'll watch it, and yeah, for the effect.
yeah, it's about being a game, man. It's about being a game.
Yeah.
People are so nervous and they're so paralyzed. They don't want to make a mistake. They want to be perfect right away. I'm like, no, man. You just gotta start.
To make it clear for everyone, like, we're not perfect either. We have days where we're
No,
fearful, but I at least appreciate, and I'm proud to say that when it push comes to shove, we throw ourselves out there if we need to,
yeah,
because
man.
we're aware of times. I hate to sound morbid and grim, guys, but time is running out every
Yeah,
day. Like, I am
yeah.
26. We're the same age, and you know, I have plans. I have plans for a certain age. I'm not saying it's all going to happen by 30, but
Mhm.
I don't want to be talking about. I want to grow. I want to look back
Yeah.
at, like, oh, at 26, I was discussing this, and at 30, I'm
Mhm.
discussing this now. Not at 30. And again, everyone's going to have a different timeline. Everything's. But if
Mhm.
I can avoid that by, being better and thinking one step ahead and acting on, what I'm afraid of,
Yeah.
then let's do it. Let's kill it. Let's make it happen, man.
Yeah, man.
So we're
Yo.
gonna we're gonna leave on that note, man. We're gonna leave on that note because I'm fired up. That I'm fired up, and I'm just ready to go. It's gonna take time, man, because
Yeah.
building an audience, like you once told me to give me some encouragement, your audience will find you if you're really meant to share a
Yeah.
story and resonate with someone. They'll find you.
They'll
And I
find you.
believe that because I found people on YouTube that they don't have a million followers, subscribers. They have 60,000, right?
Mhm.
200,000, which is pretty big, right? And they get paid. They get paid to do YouTube. But again, I found them because I was searching for inspiration, motivation, whatever I'm thinking of at the time, right?
Mhm.
Um, can you relate to that? Have you had those
Yeah, man.
situations
Look,
where you've come across people?
like there's something I really want to say. I think,
Yeah, tell me, man. Tell me.
and let's end on that note, man. Social media numbers lie. Okay,
Yeah,
you can have 1,000, you can have 1,000,000 views or 1,000,000 playthroughs on Spotify, and no one shows up in your concert.
yeah.
You can have a hit song on radio, no
Hmm.
one buys the album.
Hmm.
You can have the number one post or viral post, no one buys the thing you're selling. So those social numbers are, to me, they lie. It's all about engagement, and that's what's so important. You're saying people are reaching out to you. That's a
That's a
big
huge
thing.
tell. That's a
That's
huge tell
that's
for me.
huge.
Yeah.
That's
Remember I
that's
told you
huge,
about the
man.
Etsy? Remember I told you about the Etsy
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, man. That's
You what did you say? Your first reply. Do you know how many people are on Etsy?
that's a lot of people there,
And I'm
man.
saying, no, what I'm saying is like,
Yeah.
that's why I was flattered, because I'm like, I'm getting, for me to get that, and that's exactly what I'm saying. To get that feedback, the
Hmm.
view is one thing, the subscriber is one thing, but to get the feedback, to get the,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, I'm
Hmm.
loving these videos.
Hmm.
It's like, and the important thing is, as a a creator of that account, creator of that
Hmm.
platform, you got to talk, you got to engage back, right?
Hmm.
You got to
Yeah.
say thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
watching, and I always do that. I'm always showing
Yeah.
much respect, and people like it. Why? Because we're human beings. Boil it down. We talked about
Hmm.
this. Boiling it down, we're human beings at the end of the day.
Hmm.
But back to my guy Gary Vee. I'll mention it for the last time.
You
He
love Gary
said,
Vee too much, bro. God.
I, know what, man? He just says no, but all the things I'm saying, man, am I not right? Am I not
Yeah,
right?
you're right. You're right.
I'm
But
not talking
Gary
about the
Vee,
bad things. I'm not talking about the bad
no,
things. I'm talking about the good things.
but Gary Vee just says the things that's like, to me, it's like common sense. Like,
No,
I don't
I
know.
know. And you know what? You know what's funny, man, is again that, and my sister, like, I'll give her credit for that. She always says, "Yeah, but it's common sense what he's saying." Like that time when
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like, "What keeps you motivated?" And he goes, "By realizing you have no fucking choice, that it's your one life." And it's
yeah,
like, okay, I get that. I just love it because he says it. He says it in a way where I can connect it to what I'm going
hmm,
through. Because again, it's common sense, but to the average
yeah,
user, sometimes it's not, man. And we got to
yeah,
just
man.
look out for them. So what I'm saying is, there was someone I know that they got like 60,000 followers,
Hmm.
right? And friends of mine were like, how did that happen? What's going on? Like, how the hell did they get that many followers? And I'm saying too, like, what the hell? Like, I know they wanted to do this, but I won't say the name. And they're all mesmerized, like 60,000 followers, and even me. But again, after learning about Gary Vee, what he said about the engagement, the
Hmm.
importance of bringing value,
There's no
when I
comments.
when I went back to it, listen, when I went back,
There's no comments.
2 comments, 100 likes. So what? So you know what that tells me?
Yeah. Tell the audience what that tells
55
you.
55,000, maybe even more, of those
Yeah.
users are probably illegitimate. They're probably not even, like, who knows what
No,
kind of account that is.
that means nothing.
Nothing, nothing.
That means nothing.
Yeah.
And let me say one more thing,
Yeah.
because like I'm in this, like,
Oh, and
like,
sorry, before another point, the people also that, I'm really, we also know those people that
yeah,
they got the community, right? They got
yeah.
like people backing them up. But the fact that they got the high school friends and the
Hmm.
people that are always in their groups going out, yeah, okay, that's an audience. My friend once always said, a customer is a customer.
Hmm.
But you'll notice a pattern. That's also not growth either. If you're always
Yeah,
having the same people,
yeah,
you're fire, you're lit, you're like, and then it's like,
yeah,
thanks, bro. It's like when you start seeing people in the industry, filmmakers or people in the
yeah,
music industry, like composers, texting you and saying that, that's when you're growing, you're expanding.
yeah.
Don't get it twisted. For the people that are putting out stuff, and it's like, I get it. You're getting the respect. You're getting. I want you to get that encouragement from your friends. They respect you. They love you.
Mm.
But I know some people that exploit it, and they say, "Oh, look at that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but if you really boil it down, I'm talking about the people that are really cynical.
Yeah, yeah,
Really boil it down, buddy. It's the same group that,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that same girl is telling you you're fire, you're lit, especially the ones that
yeah.
post, right? You're hot. You're
Jeez.
so it's just it is what it is. Right?
Man, but yeah, man, I'm gonna say this one thing, because like, as you know, like, I'm running a business, trying to start a business, up
Yeah,
and going again, and I'm seeing all these other businesses online having those articles written about them. And I'm like, this is so interesting. Like, why is this person writing this article
yeah.
about
What?
them?
Yeah. How did
Now
I
I'm
get
like,
there?
but here's the thing: they're paid articles. The business is
Ah,
paying so and so to write the article about the business.
musicians doing that. I bet you, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not even a musician. On legitimate, like, I won't say legitimate businesses, but startups.
Mm.
I see lots of that. I'm like, what's really going on? Like, this guy, I spoke to this guy, I've seen this guy, like, this guy isn't where he says he is. Why is this thing's written about this person? And I see it, I'm like, oh, it's a Yahoo article. Oh, okay.
Buddy,
It's not a
buddy. You know
legitimate.
more, about that than I do, but I
It's
again,
but
no, but I'm saying, but again, I believe you, man, because
man,
Christian, one thing you'll understand, guys, everyone who's listening, and he tells it as it is, and
like,
he's very resourceful, and He's on that internet probably more than I am. Like, just
No,
no,
yo, I'm
no, 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 no,
curious.
no, no. What I'm saying is like, and a compliment. Like, you're intelligent. That's what you do. You
Like,
read, you investigate, you try to figure out right, what the
yeah,
you like to develop the duties of thinking. And
yeah, like,
it's just you're teaching me a whole bunch of stuff tonight, man. Look
yo,
at me. I walked into it naive, bro. I was like, yo,
you didn't
everything's
notice?
organic. I thought everything was organic, bro.
No, nothing's
I'm
organic,
kidding, bro.
man.
I'm kidding. I knew not everything's organic.
But yeah, man, it's
There are no, nothing. I wouldn't say nothing's organic. There are things it's
dude.
possible, but it's
If
hard.
if
It's hard.
if you have a million people that subscribe to you,
Hmm.
and you come up with a book, or you come up with a movie, and you don't make $1 million off the sales of that movie or off
That's when
that
you
book,
know it's no.
it's not real.
Yeah.
They're not. Those not like, and that's just common sense.
Yeah.
That's not common sense. Like,
No, it
whoever
is. No, it
disagrees
is.
with us, please comment. You put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'll
Please
put this on
comment
YouTube.
below if you disagree with me.
Please comment below, and Christian will be happily
I
engaging in your
will love.
comments.
I will
Yes,
engage with you because I want to
yes,
know, like, because these numbers do not add up.
yes.
And I don't know if you're seeing, but there's just someone that's buying all of this catalogs from like famous musicians. Someone bought Lil Wayne's catalogs. Someone bought Bob Dylan's catalog. Someone else bought I forgot this guy's name, but he's a really big musician. Like
Hmm.
him and Dr. Dre made beats together.
Hmm.
But someone's buying all this catalog right now, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't know what's gonna
Like
happen in the industry.
memorabilia, or
No, like they're masters,
okay.
their copyright, their IP for the
Yeah, like the
creator.
master copy. Yeah.
Someone's buying in bulk
Like
all
a
these
mysterious,
major
a
artists.
mysterious business fake.
Yo, I'm gonna figure this out, man,
Yeah,
because I
investigate
mean,
that. Christian will let us
because
know on the next podcast.
no, but yeah, but it's important. Like Dan, it's important to know why that's happening
No, for sure, man.
because we need to understand, like, now these artists. I'm talking about musicians. I'm very curious how filmmakers' contracts are nowadays, especially with
Me
like
too.
streaming videos.
Yeah.
But streaming music, Spotify, like the most of the people that are on board members of Spotify are music labels. They have some types of increment Spotify in which they can play their music, the licensed music for a small fee, and the artist gets paid.
Mm.
So if someone's buying the bulk of the music of all these artists and they're also in bed with Spotify, what does that mean for up and coming musicians who are trying to get an upstart of their career?
Monopoly, right? They're gonna
Yo,
take
but
over.
like,
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
because now there's not a market anymore,
Yeah,
right?
like to get out there. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in bed.
yeah.
I'm in bed with Spotify. I'm buying all this catalog for Lil Wayne, all these music artists. Guess what? I can talk to Spotify and see if I get a playlist going and put this playlist as a top playlist for so and so I can grow the streams and the value of this music and make more money off it. Oh, you're up and coming musician? Sorry, bro, you can't make it. Can't make the cut for that playlist.
Yeah. Well, it's a big
Yes.
back to the point. What you were like to connect to that point is with film, right? Actors are facing situations. My
Yeah.
sister was telling me she was reading something crazy, like Haley Bieber, who's married to Justin Bieber, right? You would think she would have some prominence in the industry. She still doesn't get gigs
Mhm.
because she doesn't have enough followers compared to a certain model. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That is like crazy to me. Like, that's how they look at things, man. You're
Yeah.
judged off of the following, the
Yeah.
monetization, and they don't look at the like they used to, the brand and the look and
They
the
don't care about talent
story.
anymore.
The story. A lot of time before, right? Hollywood before was all about the story, right?
Mhm.
The Brangelinas and
Mhm.
Johnny Depp and whatever. Now it's like, are you relevant or not?
Mhm.
Like, are you trending? Are you with the times? Whatever, right?
Yeah, because we can get someone to do this job, and we can get someone in Spain, and we can pay them like half or a third of the money
Talking
to do
about
this
talking
role.
about that, man. Like in terms of getting someone else, like an alternative. Get ready. The technology for face swap and
Hmm.
putting an actor's face. You know how you said you're already
Yo,
speculating that the likeness, right, of the actors.
yeah.
Search up deep fake. Anyone that's interested, deep fake. It's a right now it's a comedy satirical
Hmm.
channel that makes fun of George Lucas and Tom
Hmm.
Cruise. Like they put the face and the voice on someone else, but it is so accurate that right now it's a joke. But I'm telling you, they're going to work it into contracts
Yeah.
because what's frustrating for the viewer, right? is they watch a sequel and they don't see the same actor sometimes in the sequel, right?
Yeah.
Could be frustrating to the studio, right? From an artistic perspective, but
Or
from a business perspective, right? They also
mhm,
don't make the same amount of money, right? Because
mhm,
they risk that.
yeah.
But by
Or
signing a
the act
contract, yeah. Sorry, go
or
ahead.
no, to add to what you're saying, or
Yeah.
the actor passes away, or the actor decides not to be
There
part of
you
that
go.
project anymore.
Yeah. For
I'm
example,
like,
The Han Solo movie, right?
mhm,
Star Wars story. Everyone was freaking out. If it's not Harrison Ford, I'm not watching it. Screw all that, whatever.
mhm.
And search it up, guys. If whoever's listening, YouTube right now, deep fake. Sorry, I don't know if it's deep fake or type in something like Harrison Ford as Solo, and you'll find the channel. I don't know what the website. Hold on, let me see 2 seconds. Give me 1 sec, and I'll find it for you guys
Yeah, man.
because I got
So,
another watch.
while he's doing that, man, people, man, be very aware that like if you're trying to like support up and coming independent artists, do not do it through streams. Unfortunately, you need to buy their stuff, man. Like, if they have an Apple Music, buy it. If it's on
Yeah.
Bandcamp, buy it. If it's on SoundCloud, because I love my SoundCloud rappers, listen to it, give a thumbs up, comment, do some engagements, because someone is solidifying all the contents right now,
Okay.
and
Check.
they're going to do a major play within a couple of years,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Honestly, thank you for that advice. I really appreciate that. We'll definitely keep that in mind. There's a lot of aspiring musicians, artists that follow, we friends that we know of
Mhm,
trying to make it in the industry. So that's very helpful. Thanks, buddy. The channel Shamook,
mhm.
Shamook. The Yeah, just watch that. It blows your mind. That's the future of technology. Like if this guy can do it on his YouTube channel,
Yeah,
um, they're going to do that because that was a big
yeah.
issue. Is that they wanted Harrison Ford. I hate it too. Like I watch it, I'm
Mhm,
like, okay, like why isn't it Harrison Ford's
mhm,
face? Why is it another actor? I gotta imagine it.
mhm.
But now they're going to manipulate the voice, the face, right? They put him in the movie because they own that, right? It's not so much they own Harrison Ford's likeness. They're just going to say, no, we own the likeness of the character. And if
Yeah.
the likeness fits, it fits. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's what's going to do. That's what's going to happen because he's too old and he couldn't play the younger version of
Yeah.
Han Solo. They're just going to say, no, it's okay. We're just going to
Mhm.
take footage that we already have from Star Wars, put it in the movie, done.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, that's gonna be the future, man. A
I
lot of tech, a lot of tech.
Yeah, man. Well, like, I personally, I think I don't know how I feel about that, to be quite honest. I still have to think about how I feel about that.
No,
Because
no,
personally,
I don't think it's
I don't think
something.
it's good or bad.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just don't think it's something like good or anything. I just think I see it happening.
Oh, it's
Like they're already doing that. They already did that already.
the,
Think about
the,
it. They just
the,
did a shitty job. Princess Leia, they did it in
yeah.
Rogue One, right? And they did Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. And I know people got emotional for that, but for me, it's like they could have done a bit better in making him convincing that it was Mark Hamill because it
Mm,
didn't look like him, in my opinion.
mm,
Um, but yeah, they're pushing for that. They're
mm.
planting seeds in your head that they want people to show up again, but they can't get them, to show up. Do
It's
you know what I mean?
it's so funny that it's Disney that's doing this, because Disney's also building technology to replace stuntmen and stunt actors,
No, I didn't hear that. Like robots?
like
What?
robots to do the
That's
stunts,
crazy,
right?
man.
Because if it's already CGI,
That I don't mind in a way because they can
but
do crazy
but it's not.
stunts and
But robots are doing those crazy stunts.
yeah, yeah. But I'm saying I
But
don't
it's only
mind
in green
that.
screen. You don't
Yeah.
mind that? I do mind that, man. The stunt actors, those are really good paid gigs. What are they gonna do?
Well, yeah, okay. You made me look like an
No.
asshole. The stunt, the
Yo,
stunt,
that matters, man. That's
the
part of the
stunt
business. That
actors.
matters.
Yes, the stunt actors. I don't hate you. I was just saying is that for those actors that I don't know. Maybe if it's like maybe if they make it affordable for like maybe a smaller budget movie that can't really afford, maybe it just
No,
becomes like commonplace. Like you just have a robot on standby if you need to do a certain stunt. I don't know.
man,
Throwing it out
if that
there.
becomes common, that's gonna be crazy. But I don't think it's gonna be
No, it's
common.
gonna take over. Yeah, you're right.
It's all about
It's better to not have
minimizing.
it. It's better to not have it. Yeah.
Well, it's all about minimizing the cost of the movie, man. Because those stunt actors get paid very well, and there's a lot of insurances behind it as
But I don't know
well.
what's going on, bro. But people need to realize, or these filmmakers, or maybe me, because I want to be a filmmaker, I need to shout in my head, is that CGI does not age well. It's with the time. Like it works
Yeah.
with the time it was created. Like the prequels, bro. Episode 3 wasn't bad. Like because I know they put a shit ton of money, especially the last scene, like the duel. But the first two, man, like there are some scenes where, like for example, like Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson gets off like a ship, and everything just looks flat and not
Mhm.
lived in. And it's like you can't mess with the human eye. Like we detect that. We know if it's fake, if it looks plastic, you know? And that's a key word, lived in. You have to have your sets, your locations feel like they're
Yeah,
lived in. You know what I mean? Like
man.
people are using, like people have lived there, they're using it.
Practical effects.
Practical effects, right? And that's why the Star Wars, the original, we love them. You love them so much as well. Is
The real.
they're lived in, man. Jabba the
Yeah,
Hutt, that scene. You feel like there's someone there, a
yeah,
dark, dingy dungeon,
yeah,
that probably smells. You can even smell it for how like detailed it is. And that's how movies should be made, man.
man.
Movies where it was. I was watching Ben Hur. You know Ben Hur, the classic, the epic, it won like 11 Oscars. Charlton Heston. It's like 1959.
I think I've seen it, but I can't remember
Talk
a
about
scene
practical,
now.
bro. Those movies, they have no visual effect. Like they have special effects in the sense, but there's no CGI, right? This was the days
Yeah.
when no
Mm.
computers,
Yeah.
matte paintings, sets, like they built
Oh,
miniatures. The
like Lawrence of
horses, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Lawrence of Arabia,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Same
Lawrence
era. It was
that's
the same
great.
era. It was the same era.
Great movie, great epic.
Great era. It was like 2 years after I think Lawrence of Arabia. But my point is
Mhm,
that like the chariot scene, full out
mhm,
16 racers with four horses apiece, chariots, and they weren't CGI.
mhm,
They raced. Took like
mhm,
three directors to get those shots.
mhm.
So and it's like looking at a piece of art, man. You know, it doesn't
Yeah,
get old. You look at it, you're
yeah,
like, wow, that's beautiful. You know
yeah.
what I mean? That's why with this whole digital art, you see nowadays online and whatever, a true artist, man, can do it by the hand. And if you can't,
Mhm,
you're not like, I hate to talk shit, but it's like there's something about like doing it from the hand,
mhm,
like from scratch.
mhm,
I'm not saying digital art's not beautiful, not artistic, but it's something different, man. Seeing a painting, seeing a drawing, like the
mhm,
human eye can actually just
mhm.
physically do it. A lot of people, I believe, the average user, I feel like, hate to,
Well,
don't mean to throw them under the bus, but I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
man.
No, I'm saying is that they can appreciate that. They know what I'm talking about. It's just, I feel like the studio thinks that we want CGI or they just make it cheaper. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
it's all about driving cost low, man. That's the
Yeah.
name of the game. Driving cost low. Hopefully, profit is high. We make more money. That's the name of the game. But hey, let's end it there, man. I know you wanted
Yeah.
to end it a bit earlier, but
No, no, no. Yeah, I
I had to
enjoyed
say my little thing, man,
you have to say your time. I got fired up.
because no, because I'm just so tired of seeing other people so down the dumps
Mhm.
comparing themselves with other people on social media.
Yeah,
And
this is
like,
just a tough love, guys, by the way. Like, we're just trying to lift everybody up. I know we might
yeah,
sound harsh, but we lived through it. The reason why we're acting like this is because
yeah.
we lived through it.
Well, and like Chris will, I'll let you guys know, like those numbers aren't real, man. I'm letting you
Yeah,
know
I'm
right
happy.
now.
No, buddy, and that's why
Like,
I think you're encouraging me with these videos is because you're trying to say like, keep going. Like,
keep going,
don't
man.
like you're asking have you seen progress and growth, but you're testing me. I know at the same time because you're trying to see if I'm like
Yeah,
down in the dumps about my numbers. Which I'll be
yeah,
honest, sometimes I do. I see like 4 views. You're kidding me. But then when I hear stories like what you said, it's like, hey. But then I think back by talking to you, it reminds me there's people out there, little fans, right, that call me or they'll text
mm,
me, DM me, and they say, keep going.
yeah,
This helped me out. This inspired me. One guy
yeah.
said, I
Kidding me?
read this
That's
book
awesome.
five. Yeah, he's like, one guy's like, thanks. I read this book 5 years ago, Power of Now. He's like, because of you, I now understand what it means. I'm like,
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I want to do, man. I just want to be like,
yeah,
just help people translate, interpret.
man.
So,
But at the end of the day, that's part of life, right? Because life is about
mhm,
people and
mhm.
uplifting others when we can. So, man, that's awesome, man.
You
You
got to
crush
boil it
it,
down. Thanks, but hey, you too, buddy. You too.
man. You
We're
got
gonna
crush it,
we're gonna
man.
both
I'm
crush
so
it.
excited for you, bro.
I know you. I know Christian's been rooting for me for a long time, and you've been nothing but a great friend. You've
Mhm.
always been so kind and genuine, and making me stay on the right track. So I really I appreciate your friendship, and I'm looking forward to more of these talks, man.
Yeah, man, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy your week, man. Talk
All
to you later.
right. Take care, man. Have a good night.
You
Bye.
too.